This is me, not the polished version, not the perfect version, the real one, right here. I'm 6 years old. I'm an active child. I want to run. I want to play. I want to explore. Running feels like flying. Then injuries change everything. What feels like running is replaced with crutches. I am diagnosed with what is called fibrous dysplasia. I am now the fragile child. The adults, they hover over me, protecting me. The kids keep on playing without me. I'm told to be careful, to sit still, to stay safe. My world grows smaller. In this moment, I learned something I don't even have the words for yet. When you when your body is treated as broken, your voice starts to feel the same way too. Raise your hand if you ever, even just slightly, have ever felt silenced, overlooked, or even made to feel small. I know. I know what that feels like. So I learned to adapt. I found adventure in books. I was always in books. Inside those pages, I could run again. I could climb. I could travel. I became brave. In those pages, I could do anything. Crutches never held me back. And without realizing it, I am finding my voice. Because when you are not allowed to speak freely out loud, I was raised in a strict Filipino family where you don't speak up loud when you're just a child. You learn to listen deeply and you learn to dream fiercely. That voice stayed inside me, silent. Time moves forward and I grew up. And I believe that I found my knight in shining armor, just like the one I read in those books. He said all the right things, made me feel protected, made me feel seen, made me feel chosen. Felt like a dream until it didn't. What once felt like love began to feel like fear. My words were questioned and then dismissed. Slowly but surely, it was completely erased. I was now in the most dangerous relationship of my life. And here's the truth that most people don't even talk about. Silence became survival. Because in domestic violence, it doesn't always arrive loud. It arrives quiet. For a long time, staying quiet feels like the only way to stay alive. Trapped in the silence of domestic violence, years passed until I escaped. And when I say escaped, I truly had to plan my escape. But when I escaped, healing began. And as I healed, something unexpected happened. My voice returned. And when I say my voice returned, it didn't return angry, not broken, but grounded. It returned in a way that I didn't expect. I began to understand that everything that I lived through, being treated as fragile as a child, being silenced as an adult, learning to survive the domestic violence, was shaping a message that I am now able to share. God doesn't waste any hurts that we go through. He doesn't waste any of our pains. Today, I write. Today, I have 2 books that is on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. I'm a published author. Today, I speak. Today, I stand on stages and use my story to help others find that their voice still matters, to help them remember the person that they were created to be. And it's not because I have all the answers. It's not because I know everything. It is because I know what it feels like to lose your voice and to find it again. That is the gift that God gave me. As I was healing, I prayed and I asked God, Lord, if I am to write these books, if I'm able to help people with my testimony, I didn't want it to be just a rehash of all the things that went wrong, all the things that I went through. I didn't want it to just be all these bad things. And he said, I gave you everything in aloha. And that is where God gave me that aloha framework. The affirmations and actions, the leadership and love, the overcoming obstacles, health and healing, and acute awareness that he already walked me through. And I now share with the world. So amazing. And it has helped people all over the world. I was able to take my books and share it with a domestic violence organization in London. How incredible is that? I was at a retreat with Lisa Nichols. And when I came home, I had a dream. And in my dream, there was this big, brawly man. If you ever saw the movie Cats, it was like that big, brawly, older man, that big black guy. I forgot his name. He was the one that was going to that kind of like that heaven or something in Cats. I have to find his name. But anyway, he was standing in front of me. because at the retreat, we were doing our speech and we were going to deliver our speech in my dream anyway. So in my dream, I was standing behind him and I was waiting to see the SAT coach, and I couldn't see because this person was standing in front of me. And I was waiting, and he turns around and he says, "A rose has always been a rose." And I woke up and I sat up and I thought, a rose has always been a rose. And I realized in that moment, a rose has always been a rose. From its first leaf to its every thorn, not just when it blooms and it's all beautiful, but always. A rose has always been a rose. So your voice, my voice, matters. Who we are has always been. So it's not like I had to change who I was. I just had to remember who I've always been. We were created by the Creator to be creatives. We were made who we were from the beginning. A rose has always been a rose. This is me, and this is you. In Jeremiah 1:5, it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." Let that sit. A rose has always been a rose. Thank you.